Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Taylor Wilde. Welcome back to Wilde on Season 4, the podcast where you get the insider's view of the weird, wonderful, wild world of wrestling. On Wednesdays, today's guest has an impressive resume. She's an alternative model, a hairstylist, a Polynesian dancer, tattoo collector, moonchild, witch, mermaid, and pro wrestling trainee. Ladies and gentlemen, my girl, Shelly Benson.
I've had like a month.
It's been a month?
Actually, maybe all summer. Every month I'm like, this is going to be the month. Everything's going to go great. And then like 2 days in, I'm like, never mind.
Let's talk about, what do we have? You're a Cancer, Gemini rising, Pisces moon. Have you been following what your tea is these past 2 months? Like, who's screwing it up? Who are you trying with? Like
everything in the universe is screwing it up. But as you can see, I'm a hot mess with all those signs and a very emotional person. Very much so.
You're all emotion.
I'm just like ready to cry at any minute. It's like, let's just have a breakdown, you know?
I'm an Aquarius with a Leo moon and I'm Leo rising. So I'm just like a lot all the time.
But that's a really cool mix. I like that.
It's like air and fire. So it's like...
No, I like that. Actually, I like that a lot. I love Leos and most Aquarius I really like.
Yeah.
I like the double Leo with an Aquarius. That's a cool mix.
So I'm like a super extroverted introvert.
That makes you the most interesting, I feel like.
I feel pretty good about all my signs.
I'm very contradicting because I'm half Gemini, half Cancer. So it's like, any day I could be something else, really sad and quiet one day and then obnoxious and everyone hates me. Like, shut up, sit down.
When you're dating, how soon into meeting somebody do you ask them when they were born, where?
Oh, I start that right when I meet someone. I'm that annoying. But like, since I was little, I was so into it because I was always like really studying it. And most of the time I can like kind of guess people's stuff. Oh. But yeah, I ask right away. So what's his sign?
Oh, thank you for asking. He's a Taurus with a Leo moon. And I thought, ooh, this is interesting because Leos are so much that they want to be the center of attention, but only around the people that they love, like their friends and family. But the Taurus part makes him like hang back, be like a wallflower.
A little more grounded.
Yeah. So he lets my like Aquarius like, I'm so weird and different. And like the Leo moon where I want to be ta-da for everybody, he's okay to take a step back because that's the only thing. Like if both people are like, I want to be the center of attention, then you're going to be like...
Yes, that's always a problem.
And he seems really grounded. He's younger than me, not substantially, reasonably, but it's so funny when you really, really get down deep into like knowing rising, moon, your sign, and then you really invest in other people and what that is and how telling it is. Like, I'm sure I'm confusing all our listeners right now.
They're probably like, what are these ladies talking about? What is a rising and what are they saying?
So as a fellow witch, and you're my guest, would you like to enlighten people about what the hell I'm talking about, what we're talking about?
Yeah, so like we're talking about the major 3 in your astrology chart, and they are major. So I always like to like explain it like your sun is like who you are. Your moon is like how you feel, how you process emotions. And your rising is what you show to people. Like that's the easiest way for me to like describe it.
Perfect.
And I always tell people your sun signs, like if you do like the compatibility thing, some people only look at the sun sign. You can't. You got to look at at least the major 3. Agreed. Really works. Because sometimes you might think, oh, this person's compatible with me because this says this. But then it really, I think the moons are pretty important.
Yeah.
Like, more so than the sun. I don't know.
Nope. My other witchy girlfriend that's kind of been my mentor, who's also a wrestler, that's what she said. She's like, I don't care what your sun sign is. She's like, what is his moon sign? It is that compatible with your moon.
That's how I feel like it's the moon that always makes or breaks.
Yeah.
But that's always just been my opinion, and just with my failed.
Preach, sister. Like,
And when we say fail, it's with a big F.
explosions. Okay.
Record breaking.
I got you. I'm right there with you. Would you say as well that your sun sign is how you represent yourself in the world? Like, it's only the people that are like intimate in your life are the ones that really get to know your moon?
I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Because mine is so hard because I was born on a cusp. So
Yeah.
I think some people see me more as Gemini than Cancer. So they get confused.
Mhm.
But then when the people that are really close to me get to pick up on that Pisces moon, and it's just like, she is so emotional and caring. And let's just feel everybody's feelings and let's talk about it all the time, you know? But those are like the people that are in my circle that like I think can pick up on that more than like the other things. But I feel like people that I just meet probably pick up on that Gemini a little bit more than the Cancer until you start getting really close to me, and then it all starts showing.
Love it. For me, like with especially physical intimacy, like my Aquarius is always like, don't touch me. Like, I'm fine. Whereas my Leo, I'm like, please hug me. Like mixed signals all the time.
I feel like that's how I am too. Well, because I have like the moodiest signs.
Yeah, you're pretty, yeah. Gemini alone.
And Cancer too. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, just all the tears. Constant
Oh
crying.
my God. And the like, I could be the crabbiest human, like mega beast. And then I'm like a nice little fairy who like is all about, let's give hugs and compliments, you know? I feel like I'm all over the place too. So I feel bad sometimes.
I mean, all I hear is that you're fun. Like, this is what I'm hearing. Like, there's so much variety you're offering.
I feel like I'm pretty fun. I'm pretty entertaining. Just watch me exist, you know? Just watch me unravel. What's she gonna do next?
But you're living your truth, whatever. You're just being you because you don't have any other choice at this age. It's just like, you know what?
I just don't care anymore.
I don't care.
I honestly don't think I ever really have. I've always just been myself to the fullest. But now I'm done letting, especially men, try to tell me that that's not okay.
I get it. Like that's kind of the theme of being a witch though. It's like, you know, you really step into your power, whoever you are, you don't dim your light for anybody, and especially not people who are threatened by that feminine power, and it's, you know, men.
Yes. Yes. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I always tend to end up with someone who is super threatened and intimidated by me. And then it doesn't come out until, you know,
You're in it.
a few months in, and then I'm in it. And once I'm committed, I try to make that work.
Yep.
But it's just like all of it comes out and you're like, you knew what I was all about when you started. Don't try to change it now.
So for me, I've always attracted, like, it's like a cycle. It's just like anything else in your life is I keep attracting the same kind of guy. So I just stepped away from relationships full stop. And I was like, okay, I really need to invest. Like, I've done therapy, I've read lots of books, but I really need to invest in healing the relationship of myself, like within myself, because there's something I'm putting out into the universe that's bringing like this repeated cycle. Like, what lesson am I not learning? And that's the hardest thing, is to figure out like what is it that you're putting out there. And for me, it was, you know, being a sensitive person, it's really easy to be codependent.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I'm so glad you said that, because like I feel like for me and like all the women that I've like known and come across, it's like for years I feel like we weren't being told, like there wasn't enough people out there talking about how like we needed to look inward and take time for yourself, and like, you know what I mean? And see what it is that's like not healed in you that is bringing these type of people around, because they spot it, they feel it, they sense it, they find you and they latch. And that's why I was always in the vicious side. Like I was dating the same kind of person, only I leveled up each time to crazier. Every time it was worse. And it's like, what am I doing or putting out there that is making this kind of person come in, you know? And that's the more painful than the breakup is having to like face yourself.
Well, stepping out of that trauma cycle, stepping out of being like in a trauma response is so hard. And like you said, it's so easy to blame the other person. Oh, he's a narcissist or he's an alcoholic or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like everyone's got their story. But at some point, you're like, I keep doing this. What am I doing? Like, what am I putting out there?
Or the stain.
Yes.
And it's like, yes, I can, say he did this, and this to me, and I'm feeling this way, and he's so horrible, which granted, those are all probably, truths. That's all truth. But what is wrong with me that I am staying in this for longer than a year, going on years of it?
Yep.
At this point, I'm part to blame, like that. And it's something that I think a lot of people don't want to admit or like put on themselves to fix and work through, which I didn't forever. Yeah. I didn't. I just, fell into I hate being called a victim or whatever, but I did fall into that because it was easier to cry and be sad and stay in it than actually do the work.
Yep.
And it's the most important thing, especially for women. I feel like we need to tap into stuff and like face ourselves and be more powerful because we are.
Oh, we're so powerful. But you said a really good point. It's like attracting those people and then staying, and codependency hooks into self-worth, and then that hooks into boundaries. And it took me until 36 years old to know what my boundaries are and to enforce them. Because you can say I have boundaries, but to enforce them is very scary, because I don't know about you, but as a woman in the world, you're a people pleaser. That is what you do. You please other people. And as much as I thought like, no, I'm like an independent woman and, fuck you. And I am who I am. At the end of the day, when it came to relationships, I really bent quite a bit. And I don't know if boundaries were one thing that you needed to really find within yourself and enforce.
Absolutely. And it's not even with just like dating, with friendships, family. Like I have never had boundaries, never set them, just kept, letting people just push and I knew the boundaries I wanted, knew what I needed for myself, but enforcing it and actually saying like to the people, like, this is what I need, and like putting my foot down took forever. I'm truly like, still working on that.
Same.
Like I even just had this conversation last night with one of my best friends, like, and me and him were talking about it, and he was just like pep talking me, like, to just like keep it going and keep trying to keep my boundaries up with people. It's hard. It is hard when you're an emotional, sensitive, like empathic person, because you keep continuing to put everyone before you and their feelings. Yep. And then that's another cycle.
Yeah.
And it's just,
yeah. Yep. I'm with you. Solidary, sister. So let's talk about hitting people then. How did you get into pro wrestling?
So I've always loved it. I always wanted to try, and the timing wasn't right, like money and just everything else. And I've always just had to like take care of myself and do all these things. And I run my own business, and like, I've just always been busy and like taking care of family members and putting everyone else first. Yeah. And I got super sick last summer. Oh, no. I was spending a lot of time in and out of the hospital and in bed. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to watch wrestling from the beginning and just lay here. And then I just got even more wrapped up again in it, and like reliving, like, when you were little and just everything. And
yeah.
And then I was like looking up schools, and then I saw there was one 8 minutes from my house. And, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to try it. If I can't do it, I can't do it. Who the fuck cares? At least I said I did it,
Totally.
I started in November. Here we are. It's not easy. No. I'm not a natural. I am not. But fair. I love it. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah. I have never been this happy in my life. And I have to say it is from wrestling and my wrestling family and just the whole community as a whole. It's amazing. It's the best thing. I regret not doing it sooner, because I feel like I was made for it. Like, I feel like I was made for this whole lifestyle, and I just hate that I took so long to do it.
Well, it never fails to amaze me. Like, I've been in wrestling since 2000. I started training, and I just did the GAW with Victoria, Lisa Marie, Mickey James, SoCal Val, and I've known them forever. And then now I'm talking to you. Obviously, we've never met. You're just at the beginning of your career. But like you said, our chosen family, professional wrestling, it doesn't matter if you know each other for 15 minutes or you've known them for over 20 years. We are connected. We don't fit in anywhere else in the world
Anywhere
but wrestling. So here we are, sister.
Yes, and I feel like because I have a lot of friends, all different groups. I'm like one of those wanderers, but I've always felt like so misplaced. Like I'm never on the same level as anybody in lifestyle parts,
Yeah.
But with like my wrestling family, it's like finally it all clicks and I feel like I belong,
Well, welcome. We're happy to have you. Let's talk tattoos because, girl, you got a few. How old were you when you started?
So I waited till I was 18. It's funny because like I didn't wait with piercings. I had like every piercing ever since I was like 7th grade. I started doing the piercings, but I promised my mom I would wait till I was 18 for the tattoo. And actually, like this time I was in Hawaii, this tattoo artist who actually tattooed my father out there when my mom and him went before I was born.
Yeah.
So I got to meet him and we talked at the tattoo shop and he told me that I have to keep a picture of the tattoo I want next to my bed for a few years. And after those few years, if I wake up looking at that thing every day and I still want it, that's the tattoo to get.
Wow.
I did it.
What tattoo?
It's the tattoo on my lower back. It's 2 revolvers. And it says "Courage, my love" on the back. Yeah, and it's a quote from this band Murder by Death that I love.
Yeah.
But still to this day, don't regret it.
That's a really good practice. I don't know, girl. Like I'm there. Like I started getting like really small tattoos later in life. Like you, I had all the piercings starting at like 14, 15. I can't remember. Young. And then I started getting little ones in my like 20s. I even waited like 24, I think. And now I got my right foot done, but kind of halfway up my shin, like over my ankle. And I feel like once you get a sizable tattoo, it's like game on. Now I'm like, okay, do I get a leg sleeve? Like
I warn everyone, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Once you start, you're not going to stop. And I don't care what anyone says. They hurt.
Well, I've only gotten them in non-fleshy areas because I guess I'm a masochist. I got both my feet done around my ankle, which I was like swearing and sweating, in my mouth, which wasn't painful because it's so fast. And then,
the lip one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one in my lip too. Yeah, it was so easy.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, didn't that hurt? I'm like, no, that was the best one.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
What was your most painful?
Like I have like a tie.
Okay.
Right behind the knee, like that like thin skin there. And I'd have to say like the rib stomach right here down there. Like not tears.
Not a lot of
tears.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's your worst tattoo?
My least favorite is my foot tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm ticklish.
You fucked it up.
I was moving and so it got blown out a little bit and it looks awful and it was all my fault. I was like flailing around. Bad.
I have a few blown out lines, but I wasn't moving. I just think the heel can heal really the foot can heal really shitty.
Yeah, it's that one's a very hard one to heal.
Yeah.
But no, I was just being an asshole. I'm telling you. It was bad. I don't even know how my tattoo artist deals with me because all I do is complain and whine. And then that day I like was kicking him and it was raining that day and I decided to wear moccasins. They were soaked and I probably smelled like shit. And I'm like kicking him and like, no, he's like, fuck this bitch.
You were doing well.
Yeah.
So where does Polynesian dancer fit in? Please tell me.
Okay, so me and my family have always been super obsessed with like Hawaii and Polynesian culture. Just always been a thing.
Cool.
And when we were little, there was this place in Des Plaines, Illinois, where we lived, and it was called Barefoot Hawaiian. And my mom and she's an identical twin, so my mom and my aunt, we got 2 moms basically.
Oh.
They always would drive by and be like, "Is that just like a travel agent? What is that place?" And they walked in there and realized it was like a dance company. And then we would see them at like the Taste or whatever. And then me and my cousins joined and we stayed in it forever. And it just became life. and it's just,
Wow.
it's amazing. It's such a beautiful culture, and the dancing is unreal.
Okay, can you give me a little taster?
I mean, I can. I don't know if you could see me.
Yeah, I see you. Go, girl.
But yes.
Woo!
Woo!
Yes.
I would do it faster, but I'll start panting and it'll be.
It's so much control, isn't it? Like, it's such a beautiful dance.
Yes, and I feel like it's one of the harder dances to do because you can't move your upper body. It's all hips, all legs, all knees. And it's funny because there's so much of my dancing, because I was doing it since I was a little girl, that I've been having to unbreak for stuff in the ring.
Oh.
Weird stuff naturally so it's been a little bit of a struggle figuring out ways to make it work.
Well, that's usually not a platform. Like, it's not usually Polynesian dancing, professional wrestling. So, like, no, it's understandable.
I just got to have all these like different, talents.
It's good. You should be, the more things you have to like bring to the table as a wrestler, the more interesting you are, the more like marketable you are. It's all good. Like, when I was looking at your IG, your profile, I was like, her introduction just writes itself.
You're like, what else does this crazy bitch do? Pulling all this stuff out of her ass.
Just like, I like it. I like good, interesting. This is different. I haven't seen this in wrestling. What does your family think now that you've had this immersive experience in Polynesian dancing, and you're tattooed and you have your own business, and now you're professional wrestling? What do they think?
I don't think anyone's really shocked, because I've always been a wild card, and I was obnoxious since the day I was born. So I've always been doing something, and I've always been trying to entertain. Always. It's funny. My mom is so proud. She's like, I'm a wrestling mom, and she's like, loves it. Aww. And the coolest thing for me is like, I really struggled over the years with my relationship with my dad.
Okay.
But, and he's never shown up for things, never, and he's been at every show because he's super into wrestling. So it's like been super heartwarming for me, because I'm at the age I'm at now. I'm finally getting that dad feeling from him, and it's because of wrestling.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I know.
I'm so happy.
It's just great. Everything about it.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's wonderful. So what is your like shoot job? What is your independent business that you're running?
So I have my own salon. Okay. I'm a hairstylist. Yeah. And then I've been modeling since 2007.
Okay, so that's a long career, and it's alternative modeling mostly?
Yeah, mostly. And then I do a lot of hair modeling too. Oh, okay. Because that just goes one with the hairstylist stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was a personal trainer for a few years, but then after COVID, it was just like everything was so hard. I just feel like it's still kind of hard, like building everything back up. And also, I do way too many things, and I spread myself a little thin.
That's understandable. Yeah, maybe less. Less is good. Like, you have a few jobs. It's fine.
Just, 4 is good. Sit down, lady.
Are you a podcast person, or are you a reader?
I like to read. Yeah. I like to read. Yeah. I try to do the podcast things, but I feel like I need more of like need to hold it and sit and like be alone and read. But podcasts are good too. I just haven't really like found any that I'm like super, super into,
And that's the difference. You have to be invested in like the people and the content, not just one or the other, because you're listening to them for like an hour.
Right. And I feel like too many people are doing it now, and nothing's like refreshing about it. Mm-hmm. If you know what I mean? Like, there's a few that I do like though, but then there's everyone else. I'm like, I can't sit and listen.
There's so much content.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially when it's stuff that you don't relate to, you're just like, I don't want to.
That's how I feel about Joe Rogan. Like, everybody listens to his podcast, and I liked one episode with the singer Jewel, but it was completely about her. But like, he loses me entirely. Like, I'm not his demographic anyway, so whatever. Right. But
yeah, and that's my thing too. Like, if you get too political or too like this and that, like you lose me. I'm done.
Yeah.
I like relatable stuff. Like life stuff, lifestyle stuff. Yeah. Like. real things, real people, like, you know.
Yep. What are you reading right now, or what was your last read?
I actually was rereading some of the Stephen King novels. So the last book I just finished was It again.
Classic.
Yeah, I go through those phases where like I'll just reread like Stephen King stuff. I love Stephen King, but I'm always finding like random books. I like more like thriller, like twisty books because I like to try to like guess the end and see if I like can figure stuff out.
I love that you read nonfiction. Like, I feel like that's something that is like everyone's reading their self-help books in their 30s. You know what I mean?
I know, because I'm always like, you guys, this book, and I'm like, and everyone's like, I'm reading How to Date Somebody, da da or whatever. Like,
Totally.
and I'm like, but want to guess who killed her? Because I do. Let's read this. I'm like always trying to give people my books when I finish them too. Never.
Everyone's like, no, thank you.
I'm like, all right, I'll just keep my books.
Whether you enjoy listening to your podcasts or watching them, the Wilde On team has got you covered. Head on over to our Wilde On YouTube channel and hit subscribe so you never miss any of the wild content that we bring to you every Wednesday when we get wild on Wednesdays. And tune in to our weekly podcast wherever you enjoy podcasts. Let's do my top 10 tailor-made questions. It's a little bit of a speed round, but don't feel rushed in any of your answers because I want all that juicy content. Ready?
I'm ready.
Name a beauty product you cannot live without.
Amika, the Undone Texture Spray, because I love big, wild hair.
Ooh, that's very specific. And you do have beautiful hair, so.
I just love having big, obnoxious hair.
One of my girls, Chrissy Vane, she's Southern. She always used to say, bigger the hair, closer to God, the smaller the waist.
Yes. I love it.
What is your favorite exercise?
Even though it makes me want to throw up, I do like doing legs, and I like doing like stuff with the cables.
Okay.
Mostly like kickback. Oh, but I like hack squats too. Okay, I'm going to say hack squat. Hack squat machine for legs.
Okay.
Definitely. Stick with that.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
When people lie.
2 for 2. My last guess, that was exactly what she said. Liars.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Now, I'm going to guess because you're empathetic. You are probably a really good read of people. Like, you get in a minute or two if they're disingenuous. You just know that they're liars. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're already drained.
Yep. Yep. And you can tell by my face too because I have puppy dog eyes. So you can see the eyes just start to droop. And you're just like, they're sucking the life out of me with their lies.
That's why I don't go out in public. I try not to because I'm
exhausted.
That is perfect. I feel the life running out of me. Like,
yeah.
But there's people like yourself that I could just talk to, and it's bringing me up.
Yeah, it's easy. But
yeah.
There's a lot of those other ones out there.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Who am I in love with at the moment? I don't know if I have a celebrity crush.
That's okay.
I guess I'm just going to say my all-time love of my life, who's never not going to be, is Kevin Nash because he's my absolute love. I love him.
He's
in love.
Very funny. He's so funny.
That's never going to change. That's it. I mean, no one's ever going to compare to him. Like, he's it. Number one.
So funny. Does he know this? Have you met him?
Yes. I cried.
How did that?
I cried.
I was just gonna say, how did that go? Like thinking, like, were you like cute?
I cried.
Or
yeah, I cried, and I didn't leave. I loitered. He let me hang out with him. He was great.
How long did you overlinger?
45 minutes. It's fine. Everything's fine. I think I made a great impression.
I mean, you committed. You cried, and then you lingered for 45 minutes.
I sure did, and then I made him follow me on Instagram. Took his phone.
Oh, like you took his phone, and you. Yeah. Does he ever like anything? Liked any of your photos?
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, I know. I'm a winner.
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong with men. Maybe I need to cry. I'll start with crying.
Yeah. I mean, that probably makes them feel really good. Like, if
yeah.
their presence brings you to tears. Great for the ego.
That's really funny.
Not afraid to admit it. That's what happened.
I'm so glad. This has been my favorite part of there's been a lot of good parts of this episode, but that right there, that's it. Who is your favorite band or artist?
Okay, I'm thinking, Coheed and Cambria is definitely one of my favorite bands.
Okay.
But right now, the person I'm obsessed with who's like gotten me through like the past couple of years is Bishop Briggs.
Oh, I love Bishop Briggs.
Oh my God.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's like taken over for me. Like I have to listen to her like every day.
I just got into her. She TikTok actually was how I found her. I totally missed the mark. Like I'm behind the times.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Like obsessed with her. You'll have to listen to every song because you're going to be like, oh my God, related so hard to this.
High Water. I was like that.
Right? Yes. Yes.
Because that River song is like what's popular on TikTok. And then I was like, okay, I love a single.
It's a great song, but the other ones, like High Low, Jekyll and Hyde, you need to listen to all of them. You're going to be like, whoa, where were these when I needed this? I'm telling you.
We're living in it now. It's good. Okay. Good. Do you have a secret vice, like drinking a glass of wine in the shower?
No, but I'm a coffee addict. Like it's bad. Like I'm a psycho beast. Like don't look at me, don't talk to me unless I have coffee, and I'll chug that bitch in 2 seconds, and I need another one.
I'm not a sipper. I'm like I need.
Oh no.
Need it in
I don't get that. Like the little sip all day on one. I'm on like round 4.
I have 3 cups before I even get my day started.
And it doesn't do anything for me. I'm just addicted to it. So like I get physically sick if I don't have it.
I think mentally, I get stimulated. Like it probably doesn't help, but it's like a mental thing, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's my thing. I wish I could cut it back because I'm probably tearing holes in my stomach. But you know what? You gotta live a little.
Honestly, like if you don't have a caffeine addiction in your 30s, like you've lived an enchanted life. Of
like you're blessed.
Sleep, so I think you're normal. What wrestler has the best entrance music? I know who you're gonna say.
Who am I gonna say?
Kevin Nash.
No, okay. But I still love him. He's my favorite. I love him. My favorite entrance music is always going to be Shawn Michaels.
Classic.
I love it. It's my ringtone. I work out to it. We went to a karaoke place. I made them put it on so I could sing it.
Did you ever see the movie Get Him to the Greek? We love that album. We fucking brush our teeth to that album. We work out to that album. That's like
sounds like me.
Yeah.
There was this meme that was like a girl crying, like holding her phone up to a DJ booth, and they put it in and said, play Sexy Boy by Shawn Michaels. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me. That's me.
That is you.
Quested everywhere. And no one knows what I'm talking about half the time. And I'm like, how did you get through life not being a sexy boy?
How dare you? Like that is what you got to come back with.
I am offended.
What is your drink of choice? Doesn't have to be alcoholic.
Horchata.
What is horchata?
It's rice water. Mexican rice water.
Huh.
Delicious.
Really?
It's delicious.
I've never had it.
It's so good. It's my favorite thing.
Really? Okay. Well, I got to find some tomorrow then.
Try it. Refreshing.
I will message you because I need to try it now. I feel like I'm not cultured. Just came back from Mexico in March, so
it's not. You didn't have any horchata?
It's not my first time either in Mexico. I've never even fucking. Okay, wait. Excuse me. No one's offered it to me.
Like, how dare them? How dare that establishment? That establishment. And they probably didn't play Sexy Boy either.
No, they definitely didn't.
Bad review.
What has been your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
Me and one of my best friends, we're best friends now. We started together, me and him. So he's my wrestling bestie.
Oh.
And I broke my nose on his asshole.
Like, so it inserted and then...
Honestly, I don't know what happened. All I know is that my face hit his ass and I busted my nose. I broke my nose on his ass.
So you don't know specifically if it wasn't...
What happened?
It wasn't for sure the hole. It was the ass.
It was the ass. but it could have been the whole. All I know is his butt broke my face, and it was definitely my fault.
You and I are going to be good friends. I'm just going to put that out there. This is not like we're not going to end this here. Like this, I get you. Where can our listeners find you on the interwebs? What are your social media handles, OnlyFans? Pump them out.
Instagram, my handle's Shelly Benson. And then I'm on TikTok. Yep. And that one is Rochelle 03, I think. Okay. My Twitter is at the Bomb Shelly. Mm-hmm. And then I have a Patreon as well.
Last one. Finish this lyric. And I hate that I've got to let you go. What have I adore?
Yes. Okay. And then what comes after that? Shit. Why am I so bad at this? Water without you.
It's always great to get a fresh perspective from today's up-and-coming professional female wrestlers, especially someone who is literally just starting out training. And yet Shelly is someone who's had successful careers and someone who's been in the limelight before, but she's still ever so respectful and really wanting to earn her place in the business and realizing how much of a family that this community really is. And that doesn't just go for wrestlers, that goes for our fans. So listeners and viewers like yourselves, I've always said since the very beginning of my career, if it wasn't for the fans, there would be no show and we wouldn't have jobs. So thank you guys. Thank you for allowing me to do what I love and what I've been loving to do for so long. It's been a pleasure having you follow my journey, and I promise you, it's really just getting started and it's ever changing. But I would not be able to do this podcast without my badass punk rock girl band, the Wilde On team. My queen, my right-hand woman, editor and producer, Rochelle Douris. My other queen who does all the things on the interwebs that I need and don't understand and markets the shit out of this podcast, Madison Golshani. And to our little baby sweet angel, our helper, the woman that sings the Wilde On theme and my entrance music, Sam Smith. And for all our technological sound panic nightmares, our homeboy at Superkick Studios in Toronto, our sound engineer, Matteo Sessa. Thank you. I love you guys. And until next week, stay calm or keep calm. You choose. And wild.